What's up? I'm Ashley, and in this video, I'll be going over some major clues that could give us some insight on what's really going on. Recently, I read an article where the writers of the show said there were clues in season 1, episode 1. So I went back to rewatch. And when I did, I noticed a few small clues that probably means nothing. But then there was one huge clue. But first, I have to give credit to Dear 5647 who left a comment a few weeks back who pointed this out. And without them, I probably would have missed it. And after watching episode 8 of season 3, it's definitely undeniable. Others may have spoke on this before, but not me, so now I am. I'll be going over a few small clues at a time, and then I'll get into the main one. Let's get into it. One of the small clues could be when the Matthews family first see the tree. When they get out the RV, and Ethan says, maybe we could move it with the RV. That made me think, what happens if you actually move the tree? Is it really that simple that you could leave the town by just simply moving the tree? That would be diabolical. Could you imagine during the series finale, you meaning to tell me all we have to do is move this damn tree? And another small clue is when Boyd goes to visit Ellis at Colony House, and Boyd says to him, she doesn't change, does she? Which could have been foreshadowing for season 3, because we all know Fatima is not the same. She over there going through something, to say the least. But the major clue is the overview shots of the Matthews family entering Fromville. In season 1, episode 1, around the 15-minute mark, the Matthews family see the tree for the first time, meaning they are now in Fromville. When they get out the RV, that's when Ethan says, can we move it with the RV? And Jim says he saw an exit a mile back, and how he thinks they're going to have to circle around to find it. And circle around is just what they did. They had no idea they were on a merry-go-round. This is also when they see the crows, which could also be another clue the writers was talking about. Julie does mention how a flock of crows are called a murder of crows while trying to scare Ethan. Black crows are known to be a bad omen, meaning bad luck, death, and misfortune. And by trying to make Ethan feel better, Tabitha says to Ethan how ravens represent an unkindness, since Julie was being mean to Ethan. Maybe those aren't crows but are ravens, which is still associated with loss and an ill omen. It symbolizes complex. It represents prophecy and insight. Ravens in stories often act as psychopumps, connecting the material world with the world of spirits. The meaning of psychopump is the spiritual guide of a living person's soul. It's a psychopump figure who stays by her and walks in her dreams. People be having a lot of dreams up in Fromville. It also could mean a guide of souls to the place of the dead. Which leads me to the monsters. Julie tells Ethan a story where Norman is killed by monsters. Ethan gets upset, so Tabitha tells Ethan there's no such thing as monsters. And if there's no such thing as monsters, then that means Norman is still alive. This also seems like it could be the huge clue. And if that's it, then that means all the people killed by monsters are still alive. So maybe dying is the way out of the town. But really, you're still alive in the real world. Now back to what I think is the main clue. Like I said before, around the 15-minute mark, the Matthews family sees the tree for the first time. After getting out and looking at the tree, they get back inside the RV. And when they do this, they now have no cell service and they cannot see the highway anymore. After that, they finally drive into the town. And that's when they see Sarah sitting on the porch and everyone is at Lauren and Megan's funeral. Jim gets out the car to ask Boyd, how do I get to the highway? And Boyd tells him, just keep going up the same road you were going, you'll see. And they sure did see the same thing over and over again. So after those very basic, barely there directions, Jim gets back in the RV and he now thinks he knows where he's going. But no, he don't. But if you notice, they give us an overview of the RV when they're thinking they're leaving the town. And this is where the huge clue is. When they first pass the train tracks, if you notice, there's electrical wires and an electrical box, as well as a train warning light. This makes me think when they pass through this first time, they're going into Fromville in their present self. Then while circling around looking for the highway, they go into this time slip or time travel. because when they pass through the second time, there's no warning light, electrical wires, or an electrical box. So where'd it go? But before they pass over the train tracks the second time, when they go into town, Tabitha says, "Did we turn somewhere?" Jim says, "This all can't be the same place." Julie says, "This is getting really creepy." None of them said, "How did we get back in this same spot?" When they see Sarah walking in the road, Jim tells her, "We're trying to get back on the highway." But Sarah just looks at him and keeps on walking. He never says anything to her like, "I thought this way was the way to get back to the highway. The man told me earlier this is how I get back to the highway." He says nothing like that. Cause best believe, that's what I'ma say. "I know y'all not over here playing with me." Which makes me think they are now in a time slip because after this happens, it's when they pass the train tracks for the second time and there's nothing electrical there, unlike the first time. This makes me wonder if on this second time, did they know they spoke to Boyd earlier? And when they try to find the highway the third time, which is this shot right here, there's still no electrical wires, but if you look closely, there seems to be something in the same spot the electrical box was in. Of course, it's not the full electrical box. It looks like it could be something broken. I just wonder if this third time means they went back to their present time. Because after that, Tabitha says, "How did we get back here?" And that's when Boyd tells Kenny to get the strip so that they'll be able to flat their tires on their fourth time back. But they don't get to make it on their fourth time back because while still looking for the highway, they end up getting into a car accident with the car Jade was in. And if you want to know my whole theory on Jade and Tabitha and the Matthews family, it'll be in my Where's the Motel video, and it'll be at the end of this video. But mentioning this accident makes me think that at this moment when Sarah is entering the house, she's hearing the voices tell her that two cars are going to be arriving at the same time. She does say in season 1 that the voices told her two cars are going to be coming at the same time, and Victor also says it too. She was just looking really weird when she opened that door. But my point is, I believe time travel is a huge part of From, and we saw it with Julie being in the ruins, and Martin telling her to throw the rope down for Boyd. For them to be crossing the electricity box and wires, then all of a sudden they're not there, could also be why the electricity is the way it is in Fromville. But let me know your thoughts on these clues and let me know if you found your own clues down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.